Listens for parents. Everyone keeps saying use parental controls, but no one's telling you how. So I'm changing that, and it's easier than you think. Today I'm showing you how to lock down your home network at source, so every single device that connects to your Wi-Fi gets filtered before it even loads a page. This works whether you're in UK, US, Canada, wherever you are. 3 tiers, easy to nuke. Alright, you lot. Before we talk about parental controls, content filters, DNS, any of that, there's one thing you have to do first. And if you don't do this, everything else I'm about to tell you is completely pointless. You need to change your router's admin password. Every single ISP router in existence ships with a default login. Usually it's printed on a sticker on the back of your router, or it's something hilariously stupid like admin and password. Some of them don't even have a password set at all. And here's why it matters. If your kid can read that sticker, or if they can Google default login for BT Smart Hub, or Xfinity router default password, they can walk straight into your router settings from any browser on any device connected to your Wi-Fi and undo every parental filter you've spent time setting up. They don't need special tools. They don't need hacking skills. Just need 10 seconds in a browser. So here's what you do. You open a browser on any device connected to your Wi-Fi and type in your router's IP address. For most routers, that's either 192.168.1.1 or 192.168.0.1. If neither works, flip your router over, check that sticker and it'll tell you. Log in with whatever default credentials are on there, find account settings or administration, and change that password to something strong that only you know. Write it down on a bit of paper and store it somewhere secure, not on a post-it note stuck to your monitor where little Timmy can clock it while he's pretending to do his homework. It takes 2 minutes, and it's genuinely the most important step in this entire video. Everything after this assumes you've done it, so make sure you do that first. Right, now we get to actual content filtering. And good news is, if you're on a major ISP, they've already built free parental controls into your service, and most of them are brilliant. You don't need to buy them. You don't need to be technical. You just need to download an app. If you're in UK, here's what you're looking at. EE has parental controls built right into EE app. 4 levels: light, moderate, strict, or off. Light blocks porn, hate content, self-harm, drugs and alcohol. Moderate adds nudity, weapons, violence, gambling, and social networking on top of that. Strict locks down basically everything that isn't educational or general browsing. You can create device groups so your 8-year-old's tablet gets strict while your teenager's laptop gets moderate, and you can schedule Wi-Fi to cut off at bedtime or during homework hours. You can even pause individual devices with one tap. It's genuinely one of the best ISP parental control setups in country, and it's free with your broadband. If you're still on BT and haven't migrated yet, BT parental controls work through my BT account. 3 levels: light, moderate, strict, same principle. Sky's got Broadband Buddy, which is an app on your phone that lets you manage each device individually. Virgin Media has Essential Security, which comes activated by default for new customers, with 3 tiers: Child Safe, Teen Safe, and Adult Safe. And TalkTalk's got Home Safe with Kids Safe, which has 40 content categories you can individually toggle on or off. So if you want to block gambling but allow social media, you can get that granular. Every single one of these is free with your broadband package. Now, if you're watching from US, exact same principle, different names. Xfinity customers use Xfi app. You can set content filters, create profiles for each family member, schedule Wi-Fi pauses during bedtime or homework, and block specific websites per device. AT&T's got Smart Home Manager, which lets you set parental controls, create device schedules, and pause Wi-Fi access. Verizon Fios uses My Fios app for router-level controls and time scheduling. Spectrum's got My Spectrum app with similar filtering and device management. Canada, Australia, Germany, wherever you're watching from, check your broadband provider's app, because every major ISP in every developed country offers some form of free parental filtering now. It's there. You just have to turn it on. But here's where it gets interesting, because ISP controls have limits. They only work when your kid's connected to your own Wi-Fi. Second they switch to mobile data or connect to a mate's house or jump on public Wi-Fi, those filters vanish. And some ISP routers are better filtering than others. Some are rate granular. Some are basically just an on and off switch. So if you want something that works regardless of which ISP you're with, which country you're in, or which router you got, you want DNS filtering. This is where we get to go nuclear. DNS stands for Domain Name System, and all you need to know is this. Every time any device on your network tries to load a website, it asks the DNS server to translate that website name into actual address. By default, those requests go to your ISP's DNS server, which don't filter out. But if you change your router to use a family-safe DNS provider instead, every single website request from every device on your network gets checked against a massive database of dodgy content before it's allowed through. Adult sites, malware, phishing, gambling, blocked before they even load. And cause it's set on your router, it covers everything. Phones, tablets, laptops, smart TVs, game consoles, your kid's mate's phone when they connect to your Wi-Fi. Everything. Now, according to latest data, one DNS provider came out miles ahead of everyone else, and that's AdGuard DNS Family Protection. It scored 93.8% blocking rate on independent tests. It forces safe search on Google, Bing, and YouTube, so explicit results don't sneak through search engines. It blocks ads and trackers on top of that. It's free, no account needed. You just change 2 numbers on your router. Here's how. Log into your router admin panel, same way you did when you changed your password. Find DNS settings, it's usually under Internet settings, WAN settings, or network configuration, depending on your router. You'll see fields for primary DNS and secondary DNS, probably filled with your ISP's default or set to automatic. Change them to these 2 addresses. Primary, 94.140.14.15. Secondary, 94.140.15.16. Write those down, save it, reboot your router. You're done. Every device on your network is now filtered through AdGuard's Family Protection Service. If you want a backup option, Clean Browsing Family Filter is solid too. 185.228.168.168 and 185.228.169.168. Both are free. Both require zero technical knowledge beyond typing numbers into 2 boxes. Now here's where I save you from a false sense of security, because a tech-savvy teenager can still try and get around this, and you need to close those doors. First one, mobile data. If your kid turns off Wi-Fi on their phone and uses 4G or 5G, your router filtering doesn't apply. That's where your device level controls matter. Screen time on iPhone, family link on Android, make sure those are locked down, because they work regardless of which network your kid's connected to. That's your second layer. Second one, manually changing DNS on their device. A kid who knows what DNS is can go into the phone or laptop's network settings and override your router's DNS with Google's public DNS or something else unfiltered. On iPhone, lock this down through screen time restrictions. On Android, Family Link prevents it on supervised accounts. On Windows, make sure they're on a child account that can't access network settings without admin permission. On Mac, same thing. Standard account, not admin. Third one, VPN apps. A VPN tunnels all traffic through an encrypted connection that bypasses your DNS entirely. Most ISP parental controls and some device-level controls can block VPN app downloads, so make sure app installation requires your approval on every device your kid uses. And fourth one, some kids will try connecting to a neighbour's open Wi-Fi or hotspotting off a mate's phone. You can't technically prevent that, but what you can do is make sure device-level controls are locked down, because those follow your kid regardless of what network they're on. That's why I'm doing a whole series of shorts that works as a system, not individual guides. Your router locks down your house. Your device controls follow your kid when they leave. Both layers working together, no gaps. So I'm going to do a condescending recap now, just as a reminder. Step 1, change your router admin password so your kid can't undo your work. Step 2, turn on your ISP's free parental controls through their app. Step 3, change your DNS to AdGuard Family Protection for network-wide filtering that covers every device. Step 4, Make sure device level controls from the other guides are locked down so your kid's protected even when they're not on your Wi-Fi. 4 steps, and you've gone from a house with an open network to a properly locked down fortress. None of it costs a penny, none of it requires a degree in IT, and all of it is more effective than any government age verification scheme will ever be, because you do it yourself, for your family, on your terms. Every guide in this series is linked in description. Lock it down, talk to your kids about why you're doing it, and stop waiting for government to protect your children. Because they won't. You've got tools. They're free. Now you know how to use them. And if you like this video, YouTube says you'll like this and next. So go check that out, and I'll see you there, you magnificent.